Welcome to Uncle's channel. Thanks for watching today. And all I can say really for the new TMNT movie is when it rains, it pours, because we just keep getting more and more information about this new Mutant Mayhem movie. First, we got the cast reveal. Then we got a full-on trailer for the movie. Then we got our first look at the Ninja Turtle figures and the turtle van. And now we're getting a full look at the toy playset, the talking figures, the 12-inch figures. I mean, it just seems like we're getting more and more information about this movie pretty much by the day. And so I'd say it's any time now we'll actually get like the villain reveals as far as like the action figures for those. But today we're going to take a full look at the toy set as well as the talking figures, the giants, the costumes, things like that. Pretty much everything that was revealed up to this point. Now, all of our information is coming to us from a fellow named Toy Shiz, who was at the New York event called the Playdate, where they pretty much just revealed all these different toys of different toy lines, but in particular, the Mutant Mayhem line. So we're just going to sort of go through and take a look at every one of these items. Now, the first thing that he talks about is something I'm not like particularly interested in. These are going to be the talking turtles, and these are the ones that simply, if you press their arms down, they actually say like phrases from the movies and whatnot. I will say like they look nice, the paint job's good. They're well done, but I just never really been much on the talking turtles or talking toys in general. I know growing up, had the ones that like a little sewer on their back, and you put like a little piece of plastic in there and pull it out, and it would of course say a little phrase from a television show. I always thought those were sort of lame toys. I never really liked them, and I definitely won't be picking these up either. They were running for $15, and that's not too bad. I will say the one that looks like Donnie is actually a little bit off looking, because according to Toy Shiz here, in order to just simply fit the voice box in there, they had to swell out the body a little bit of Donnie, and it just doesn't really look like Donnie a whole lot, simply because the body's a little bit off there. And I don't really know if that's accurate either, because I mean, chips are so small when it comes to like voice chips and the voice boxes and whatnot. I mean, our phones are so smaller than this, and they have like amazing volume coming out of them. So I'm not really sure why they actually swelled up Donnie's body, but it just doesn't really look like the Donnie in the movie trailer, at least to me. And then the next toy that they showed off is going to be the giant turtles. And the giant turtles look absolutely fantastic, because the art style from the movie, sort of the sketchy art style, is actually basically encompassed into the turtle action figures here. Because you can see they're sort of geometric, or sort of, jagged edge on the corners. And that sort of represents the sketchy art style from the upcoming movie. And so like the figures are actually doing their best to replicate the look from the movie. And I think these look absolutely fantastic. We got to look at Leonardo here. We also got to look at Raphael. And both of them look exactly like something a Turtles collector is going to want to have in their collection. Now, he didn't give a price point for the giant figures, but I'd say sticking with most of the reasonable prices that are cited here, I would say they're probably looking around like the $25, $30 mark, probably 25. If I was guessing, I don't know, just my guess on that. And then we get to take a look at the vehicles here, and every one of the vehicles appears to be a motorcycle, at least for Leonardo and Raphael. And both of the vehicles actually come with an action figure, so you can't take one of your pre-existing turtles and stick it on the motorcycle. You simply have to use the figure that comes with it. And that's a little disappointing to me, because the figures don't look quite as good as some of the other ones that they've displayed so far, especially the ones that we talked about in the other video that are just simply the core action figure line. Raphael's motorcycle actually reminds me more of like the news van that April O'Neil had in the show, at least color-wise anyway. And Leonardo's motorcycle reminds me a lot of the original Turtle motorcycle that I had as a kid. And so I actually like this one a pretty good bit. Not enough to probably purchase it, simply because I'm not really interested in a figure that's attached to a motorcycle. And if it's a vehicle on its own, maybe, but when it's attached to an action figure, probably not. But regardless, the vehicles and the figures are going to run at $25, which is pretty reasonable considering you're getting the figure and the motorcycle, but they don't really come off the motorcycle, so I don't know. $25 might be pushing it for that. And then we get a more in-depth look at the turtle van. In the last video, we got to look at like one screenshot of the turtle van, sort of see how it's coming together. But now we actually get to see it like in action, as far as like the door swinging out. We get to see the little pizza shoot out of the little turret here. It said it can hold up to 8 pizzas actually, and that's the only thing that's electronic or automatic, is simply pushing a button and it shoots out the 8 pizzas of a battery power, I guess, which doesn't really seem like you would need that. You could probably like spring load it. I'm not really sure why to go in the electronic direction. Seems like sort of a waste of a battery, but who knows, maybe there's more to it than it appears. But regardless, it says up to 8 figures can fit inside the turtle van, and the turtle van looks really, really great as far as like the design goes. The only thing I don't really like is when you shut the door here, you actually see the pizza logo, and I'm all for the sketchy look. I like the way the whole cartoon here, or whole movie looks like it's sort of drawn out like a sketch. But man, that pizza logo on the side, it really does look like something like you would rip straight out of a notebook and just paste on the side. I don't know, maybe it looks better in person, but at least from the image here, not a real big fan of the pizza on the side. And I'm not really a giant fan of the pizza on the top either. Maybe they should have done a little bit more of it, or something different with the sticker decals. I don't know, that may just be me. But they said the Turtle Van's going to retail for $40, which is pretty reasonable. I think the current reissue of the Turtle Vans are going for $30, so $40. That's a pretty reasonable amount for a vehicle that houses your action figures. has a pizza throwing action, and looks pretty cool. And then we get our first look at the sewer layer set here, and pretty much every core Turtles line has had its own little sewer layer, and so this is no different than that, but they really brought back a lot of things from the original Ninja Turtles playset here for this one. For example, they have like the little telescope that Donatello's looking out of. They have a little pipe that's coming down here. They can have ooze coming out the bottom. And both of those were in the original playset. But in particular, this one you can actually like has ooze down there at the bottom. And so they're bringing the ooze back as well. And ooze is something that I never actually had in the original Turtle line. I was always like, truth be told, afraid it's gonna like mess up the Turtles if I put the ooze on it. Probably didn't, probably wouldn't, but that was my fault anyway. So I never had the ooze, but they're actually bringing the ooze back, so that's pretty cool for this Turtle line as well. But they also have like a little zip line that they can swing the Turtles across. That wasn't in the original playset. I think it had like more of like a swing they could simply go back and forth on. But they also have like the telephone pole here. That was in the original playset. But the playset looks really, really cool. But it's $90 and it's pretty large here. So if the Turtle collector wanted to display it, I mean, you got a full display set here. But $90 is probably pretty reasonable for a full Turtle playset. And if it's too much, it'll probably go on sale eventually as well. So I mean, maybe when it goes on sale, I might pick it up. And of course on the back of the playset here, it also has like all these little different confidential little blackout areas. And in the video, Toy Shiz actually mentioned that all of these are little blackouts are not on the actual toy set. They're just simply blacked out because those are the upcoming villains from the movie. And they don't want to reveal too much as far as like plot line for the movie just yet. Now the next thing they're going to showcase is like the costumes or the dress up sets for the Turtles. And obviously I'm not interested in this at all. But for the kids, these are pretty cool because I remember having one of these when I was a kid. I actually had Donatello's and Michelangelo's. And these were really cool. You actually get to like dress up as a turtle and whatnot. And as a kid, I thought it was a lot of fun. And so these actually look like they'd be, a great deal of fun for the kids out there. I like how the size and the swords actually like collapse. So I guess like when you, stab somebody in, sort of like those little collapsible weapons and whatnot, they sort of collapse in like you're actually, I guess, stabbing a person. But regardless, they're just a little more violent for most turtle toys. But anyway, they actually look like pretty cool toys, pretty high quality, especially the nunchucks there. But like I said, those are definitely, more fun for the kids. And they didn't put a price point on that. But regardless, we got to look at so many of the upcoming Turtle toys here. As far as like what I'm personally interested in, I'm still more interested in what I showcased yesterday. And there's a video link to that up above, which is simply the core Turtle lines. And those were mentioned a little bit, in the images of the sewer here. But I'm more interested in just sort of the mainline Turtles. Turtle Van, maybe I'm sort of on the fence about. But when it comes like to the talking Turtles or the vehicle Turtles or the play sets, I'm probably not as interested in that, just simply because it's not really down my alley a whole lot. I'm more interested in just sort of the core main figure lines. The giant Turtles, those would be really cool to display, but at the same time, those also take up a lot of room. But regardless, let me know in the comments down below which ones you are most interested in, which ones are you picking up, which ones are you not interested in. Let me know all that in the comments down below. If you enjoyed the video, be sure to like and subscribe to the channel. Check out my other videos listed up above, and as always, go out there, find a great game to play. Just simply have a great rest of the day.